In this episode, we talk about the NFL season coming to a close, some off-season moves that might transpire, some off-season moves that have already transpired, the NBA new look, especially with the whole Luka, Anthony Davis trade, and much, much more. Episode 59 of N1 from the End Zone starts now. You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it. Hello and welcome everybody to N1 from the End Zone. It's been a couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen, but your boy is back, and today we are diving into the latest happenings in the NBA and NFL, and I shall give you my thoughts on that. Now, before we get into it, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment on the video. I want to know if you agree or disagree with my takes. I appreciate all of you guys for being a part of this community. We are now over 10,000 subscribers, and we have a Discord channel, so go join our Discord channel. The link should be in the description. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. All right, let's dive right into the NBA, specifically the Luka Doncic LA Lakers debut that happened for me yesterday. I don't know if this video will come out in time where it will still be yesterday, but Luka had his debut, and in my personal opinion, definitely looked winded, definitely looked rusty, but the Lakers have a path to the Western Conference Finals, if not the finals, with both Luka and LeBron on the floor. Basically, they can play off each other. They can play together. They can play one of them on the court, one of them off the court. Basically, all 48 minutes, you can have either Luka or LeBron out there, and the Lakers are honestly, Rob Pelinka saved his job. Not like it wasn't any danger, because I know Jeannie Buss is a very loyal human being and she trusts her inner circle almost blindedly. So Rob Pelinka has secured his future with the Lakers. He's probably done enough to reassure JJ Redick for the future as well. And the Lakers are going to be able to compete. I don't know in what world it makes sense for Nico Harrison to trade away Luka Doncic for an injury-prone Anthony Davis, and I think Max Christie and another pick. That makes no sense. When you've gotten more for Cat Williams, when you've gotten more for, I think, Jalen Brunson, like there's been other players, the Paul George move, and he's not even playing that well. What the Clippers got more for Paul George than the Dallas Mavericks got for Luka Doncic. How does that make any sense, ladies and gentlemen? Especially because Luka's still in his prime. He's only like 25 years old. He's only 25 years old. He's a beast on the fucking court. I know he looked out of shape and winded, but guys, you let him play himself back into shape, I guarantee you by the time the finals comes, or by the time the playoffs come, the Lakers are going to be on the path to the Western Conference Final, especially because right now the West is wide open. In my personal opinion, it's wide open. I think OKC is still young. The Nuggets, I think they're past their prime. They had a real shot a couple years ago and even last year, and I think the ages has caught up to them. I just don't see the Nuggets really being a viable contender this year, in my personal opinion, even though I think they will still finish at the top of the West. I like the Lakers right now, especially because it's Luka, LeBron, two stars, two guys that can't have proven to be able to put the team on their backs and carry them to the final. Now an aging LeBron James has a player like Luka Doncic who can legitimately carry a team. Something Anthony Davis with the Pelicans, with his time with the Lakers, was never really able to do, in my personal opinion. He was a great Robin to LeBron's Batman, but when Robin had to become Nightwing and essentially become Batman, never fucking happened. Never happened. Always injury prone, except for last year where it was an aberration year. This year he's injured. Now after he moved off of the Lakers, everybody, oh, is that really a surprise? Well, was it a surprise that he was healthy for so long? In what world do you trade Do you trade Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, basically straight up? That makes no sense to me, Nico Harrison. And now Dallas is going to pay for it. They're looking for another Luka. Luka was their Dirk Nowitzki. Luka was supposed to be the new Dirk Nowitzki for the Mavericks, and Mark Cuban's comments, right on the money. Right on the fucking money. I'd be pissed too. I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to fucking come back and purchase the team. I'd bet the Maverick fans were trying to rescind that trade. Everybody wanted to rescind that trade except for some reason Nico Harrison. In what world? In what? Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm not even a Mavs fan. I'm a Warrior fan, and I'm upset that the Mavs made this move because it helped the Lakers. That's just it. That's all I got to say. That's my piece. That's my peace of mind. On the Lakers move for Luka Doncic. Great for the Lakers. Horrible for the Dallas Mavericks. It looked like the Dallas Mavericks might be able to compete this year, but Anthony Davis is just too injury prone. Kyrie Irving, he is not a leader in the playoffs. He's been to the playoffs multiple times. But he's not the leader that carries them. And I feel bad for my boy Klay Thompson, who's out there because he went out there to play with Luka. He rejected the Lakers to go to the Mavs and play with Luka. And now Luka's not there. And now he's stuck out there with Kyrie and Anthony Davis, who one's injury prone, the other one can't lead a team anywhere. Damn shame. I wish we could have traded for Klay. We could use him now. Now that we have Anthony Davis, or not Anthony Davis, now that we have Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, but that's neither here nor there. Now let's transition actually to my favorite team, the Golden State Warriors. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So my Golden State Warriors pulled off a trade for Jimmy Buckets. They sent, I believe, Andrew Wiggins and Dennis Schroeder alongside Kyle Anderson to Miami for Mr. Buckets. And personally, I'll be real with you. My thoughts were I didn't understand this move because I don't think Jimmy's game necessarily fits well with the Warriors in the long haul. I still believe that, even though right now they're 2-0 in the two games that he's played. Jimmy is a dog. Jimmy has carried the Miami Heat into the NBA Finals a couple of times, not just once, a couple of times. And pairing him alongside Steph, who is a champion in his own right, who has that dog in him alongside Draymond Green, who is the dog of dogs, I think it'll be a good short-term pairing, but long-term, I don't think they'll have enough gas to really make an impact in the playoffs. And I'm a Warrior fan. I love my Warriors. I'm being unbiased and realistic. I would have loved to see KD come back to the Warriors. I have a tremendous amount of love and respect for KD for what he did for the brand, for the team when he came to the Golden State Warriors the first time. And I thought the way that things ended, at least with the fan base, I thought things could have ended a lot better. We could have shown him a lot more respect, in my personal opinion. But that being said, I do think that Jimmy Butler, maybe he shocks the world. Maybe he can do for the Warriors what he did for the Heat. And that is helping lead a young group of guys into a deep playoff run. Because that's essentially what the Heat were. They had a young Bam Adebayo, they had a young Tyler Hero, they had a young core group of guys that he was able to rally together and get them to the NBA Finals. Even though things ended poorly with the Heat at the end, he was still the leader of that team when he was there. Now, here on the Warriors, I think it could be a good fit and a good pairing having him play alongside Steph, who is the unquestionable leader of this team. And that dynamic, that dog in him, I hope can be passed along to the young guys on the team. Like, for example, Jonathan Kuminga, who sometimes seems like he's lacking a little bit of energy, like Moses Moody, like Pajemski, like Trace Jackson Davis. We have a good young core group of guys that are competitive with Steph, and with Jimmy Butler. Maybe they can be elevated a bit to hopefully get that sixth spot and make the playoffs. Maybe shock the world and make a run. But realistically, right now, I think the issue that the Warriors have has been the issue that has plagued them over the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, and that's size. They're getting older. They don't have a lot of size. And it's weird because they got the old guard with Steph, Draymond, Kevin Looney, who are older, undersized, and then they got the new guard, who I think some of those players are still growing into their bodies, but aren't necessarily their bodies aren't necessarily mature enough to be able to really have a strong enough impact on the game. Because you got to remember, a lot of these guys are still in their early 20s. I think 23, 24, or yeah, 23, 22, 21. Like, they're still young. They're still like 2 or 3 more years away from their peak before we actually really get to see them. Once Jonathan Kuminga gets to, like, let's say 23 years old, because I think he's only like, what, 22? Yeah, I think Jonathan Camin's only 22 years old. Like, imagine once he gets his grown man bod, he's gonna be that guy, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's my thought on my Golden State Warriors after the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. I personally hope it works out for the best. Realistically, I don't know how the long-term fit is gonna work out, but as of right now, it looks like it's working well, and I am very excited to see how things go.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the NFL season has concluded and the Philadelphia Eagles demolished, destroyed the former reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Handedly. By halftime, it was over. First drive, it was like the nail in the coffin at the end, and I am shocked. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't too thrilled about it because I wanted to be the team, my Niners, to be the team that dethrones them. But the Eagles did it. Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl MVP, had a stellar performance, even though he threw an interception. He carried that team on his back. Because the Chiefs were able to stop Saquon Barkley to an extent, and that had nothing to do with it. Like, they were able to just manhandle the Chiefs all day up and down the field. Travis Kelce, he looks like he may be done. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. That performance, in my personal opinion, I thought was abysmal. I'm not too confident in the Chiefs' future right now, even though they have a lot of good, great, young, talented players, and they're getting players back next year. But the fact that Travis Kelce is leaving, or the fact that Travis Kelce is old, and throughout the season, never had, I thought he was saving it for the playoffs, never really had those Travis Kelce moments like we're used to on a consistent basis. He had moments, not what we expected from him, and I think that's a reflection on his age. I think he might be done. Three-time Super Bowl champion, changed the culture, unquestionably one of the greatest tight ends of all time. I think it might be time for him to hang it up. And with that being said, I know they have Noah Gray on that team, who has, in my personal opinion, this year was, I think, the number one tight end for the Chiefs, who's stepping up, who's developing, who might take another step forward next year. But I don't know if he's the same caliber tight end Travis Kelce was. And if that's the case, like, I think it's going to be realistically next year, they're going to have like most people experience a Super Bowl hangover year after they lose it. They're going to take a step back and they're going to rebuild and come back stronger the following year. I don't doubt Patrick Mahomes' greatness. That is the dumbest thing anybody can do. He is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He is a multiple-time Super Bowl, or not Super, he's a multiple-time Super Bowl MVP, multiple-time NFL MVP. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Second, if not third, behind Brady and Joe on the all-time greatest quarterbacks of all time list, okay? That's how good he is. He had an opportunity to become the greatest quarterback of all times by winning this Super Bowl and three-peating, something that Tom Brady never did. And right now, realistically, I think he's got a long ways to go now to even be remotely close. Not just because he has to win 7 or 8 Super Bowls to actually to surpass him, but because of the fact Brady beat him twice on 2 different teams. Let's not forget he beat him with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl, and he blew him out. and he beat him with the Patriots when they won their last Super Bowl. Or no, was it either when they won their last Super Bowl or when they lost to the Eagles that Super Bowl? I forget. But Brady has beaten Patrick Mahomes twice in head-to-head competition in meaningful games, AFC Championship and Super Bowl. And both of Patrick Mahomes' margins of losses in the Super Bowl are 40 plus points. Brady's only lost his 3 combined Super Bowls by, I think, a total of 15 points. He's never been blown out. So that's honestly part of the reason why I think Mahomes has a long ways to go to catch Brady in the GOAT debate, but he for sure can surpass Joe if he hasn't already in being the second greatest quarterback of all time. I still think Joe has that 4-0 undefeated in the Super Bowl. Yes, I know Patrick's been more, but there is a testament to every time you make it to the game, you always win it. It's like Jordan, 6-0. Unless you get more Super Bowls and victory, like unless you get more rings that eclipses the 4 that Joe's won, you're still at 3. And your record is now 3-2 in Super Bowl games. And you don't play well in the Super Bowl, at least in the first half. I know you've won 3 Super Bowls, but usually you don't play well in the big game, and you come through in the clutch at the end. It looked like you guys were coming through in the clutch at the end yesterday and in the Super Bowl this time, but by that point it was just too far gone. It was way too far gone. Jalen Hurts solidified himself as a top 5 quarterback in the league with that Super Bowl victory. He is a franchise quarterback. I don't want to hear anybody doubt him. I don't want to hear none of that. Franchise quarterback. I've been an Eagles doubter this entire season. He did something that Matthew Stafford was never able to do, and that is beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Nobody else in the NFL has currently done that. The only other person was Tom Brady, and he's retired. So Jalen Hurts has solidified himself as a top 5 quarterback, if not top 3, because of the fact that he was able to carry a group of talented individuals into winning a Super Bowl, and not just winning a Super Bowl, destroying a legendary quarterback, tight end coaching trio, Mahomes, Reed, Kelsey. So kudos to Jalen Hurts. Now, with the fact that Kellen Moore is leaving, will they be able to sustain this? I need to see who their offensive coordinator is going to be. But you still got Saquon Barkley. If he can remain healthy next year, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith still on that team's still going to be fully intact. I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the playoffs and ultimately fall in one of the first couple rounds in the playoffs, having a respectable season. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they can make it all the way to the game, because that roster is completely stacked. It just depends on a lot of factors if they can remain the level of healthy that they had this year and next year. Because usually when you have a prolonged season like the Chiefs experienced this year, a lot of injuries, a lot of losses, that could happen to the Eagles next year because of how long the season is, short time to recover, having to go full throttle in. So you just never know. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles. I did not expect you guys to win. You guys destroyed. Congratulations to you guys. Chiefs, you still got the second or third greatest quarterback of all time in Patrick Mahomes. You just got to rebuild. I believe in that franchise. I believe in both of these franchises. I may not like the Eagles fan base, but these franchises as a whole, great franchises, and should be the standard of examples of how NFL teams should operate as a whole. That's the last thing I will say. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to the Aaron Rodgers situation with the New York Jets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the last topic of the day is the Aaron Rodgers situation. Now, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is on his way out of New York, and whether it be retirement, or actually, he may not be on his way out of New York, to be completely honest with you. He might end up going to the New York Giants because they need a quarterback. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers needs to find a new home outside of the Jets. It looks like Aaron Glenn is taking full control back of the team. They requested that he stop doing Pat McAfee interviews and be fully invested in the team moving forward. And it looks like Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to adhere to anybody's demands other than his own. And that is part of the reason why he is stepping away and he is moving on from the New York Jets. The Jets, they basically told him how it was going to be. He needed to be a full participant. He needed to follow through with his full commitment of the team. And it's the feelings of him staying weren't there as they were in the first time that he was a part of the New York Jets when he first arrived. Now it's more like this dude is just like he doesn't care. He's just there. He's a waste of space. He didn't play well last year. He looks like he's past his prime. And realistically, I think Aaron Rodgers to the Giants is a strong possibility. They have a great offensive-minded head coach in Brian Dable. And he'd still be in New York. He wanted to be in New York. He wanted to be in a big city. It makes sense to me. It really makes sense to me. If not there, maybe the Oakland Raiders, or not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders in Las Vegas, that they need a quarterback desperately if they don't draft one this year. And with new head coach Pete Carroll, maybe pairing him up with Aaron Rodgers might work. Might do something for the Las Vegas Raiders, even though realistically I don't think they'd be competing for a playoff spot either. It just feels like it's done. It's a sad ending to an otherwise illustrious and beautiful career, multiple-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. He never got back to another Super Bowl, but he was always in the NFC Championship game competing, and he's a quarterback of my generation. I thank him for his services and for the memories of allowing me to watch him play. But if this is the last that we've seen of Aaron Rodgers, it is a sad end to an otherwise incredible career. But it might be a beautiful beginning to the next chapter in his life. You never know. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers situation at the moment. Now, guys, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, families, and partners. Make some money with my picks. Listen to my sports takes, or just watch for some positivity. Always remember, desire is power. And if you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching another episode of Unwin from the End Zone. I love you. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for more and see you next time. Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, have you heard? Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.